I asked the Dark Souls subreddit, how hard would it be to beat the game deathless without ever playing it or using the wiki? Not only did I get 0 upvotes, comments I got LMAO, not possible, literally impossible, better chance at winning the lotto, highly unlikely. Now I don't want to lie, I've played this game. By playing this game, I mean I've made it to this guy, which is literally within the first 15 minutes of the game.
Many unbearable hours later.
This is fucking hard! It's time to reconsider. Well, after finding out that what I was originally up to do was in fact delusional, Ballistic Thunder said I'd find it hard to believe somebody beat it in under 100 deaths their first time. Now that seems like something that's a little more tangible. So the challenge was simple. Beat the game while dying 100 times or less. I mean, I could do this. It only took me a week to beat the WWE superstar in Elden Ring.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Welcome to the most scuffed run ever recorded. Made my way back to the guy that looks like a horde torn from World of Warcraft. Stuck to his legs and hit him in the nuts. So far, no deaths. From this point forward, I was completely on my own. I had never made it to this part of the game. And then, I died. Total deaths? 1. I kicked down a ladder, learned how to parry. Or so I thought, and died again. I fought toxic rats, ran into a giant armored boar while slowly dying of rat disease, and then died again. And one more time to the big guy. So, I came back and used, medieval grenades. Yeah, you like that shit? Scooted the loot and went exploring. After taking a couple hits from some bad guys, I was fresh out of healing pots, so I decided to make my way back to the one and only bonfire that I knew of, and I'm dead. Yeah, I'm going to be leveling up as much vitality as I possibly can. From this point forward, things started to feel actually pretty good. I was feeling good.
Sounds like we're winning, sir.
Indeed we are. Carry on.
And then, well, stupid fucking poison. Ah! More. I need more. Yeah, things were not going good. Feeling hopeless and about to give up, I ran back into this guy. I noticed that every time this guy would breathe fire, 555 souls were deposited straight into my bank account. If you've never played a Souls game, this number is your XP. This is what you spend all your hard-earned cash, kills, boss fights to level up. And this, my friends, is where the ladder comes in. Every time that you rest at a bonfire in Dark Souls, the enemies will respawn. So that means if I went down to the bonfire, climbed up the ladder, went up to the top, said hello to the dragon, got him to kill everybody that was up there, ran back down, reset the bonfire, I would be cashing in 555 souls about every 30 seconds. So this is what I did for hours. Eventually I realized all I had to do was climb up the ladder, stand there for a second, and then cash in some more. And then out of nowhere, the dragon straight up died. Like straight up just gone. Like he had run out of gas or something. With 394,359 souls in the bank, it was time to play the game. The plan was simple. Get as tanky as possible first, and then get as strong as possible. I equipped the biggest sword that I had in my inventory, which was the Zweihanda, and from here the game honestly felt kind of like a cakewalk. I mean, after all, I was level 60 in the first area of the game. I ran around the Undead Parish beating up everything in sight. Ran into a blacksmith, almost died fighting this guy, and then came back and killed him. From here, I basically steamrolled my way through the Darkroot base, and shout out to the messages left behind by other players, or else I would have never found this bonfire. Ran into this floaty boy. Oh, I was so close on my first try. I hadn't spent a lot of time figuring out the UI, so I was still going in my inventory to use humanities. If it wasn't for this, I probably would have had him on the first try, but I came back and iced him on the second. It wasn't that hard. It was just kind of awkward and kind of weird. It took a long time. He just kind of floats around and shoots lasers at you and then just randomly decides to float down so you can whack him. From there, I looted the junk out of his tower and then died on my way back to the closest bonfire. Went and got my souls back, upgraded my Zweihander to +2. Spent a lot of time getting lost. I knew I had 2 bells that I had to ring, but I had no idea where they were. And then I ran into the Capper Demon. The first few seconds of this fight initially scared me, but my sword was doing so much damage and every hit staggered him, it didn't really matter, and I just kind of killed him. I picked his pockets and grabbed the key to the depths and then made my way down. This place was dark and confusing, and the enemies didn't pose much of a problem because I was so tanky and strong, but finding my way around was really hard. I didn't have a map or a guide or anything. There was no fast traveling. I was just lost. I was still under the impression that I was unkillable and that just grinding out 300,000 plus runes was going to be good enough for me to just blast my way through whatever part of the game I threw myself at. If I had spent time reading the item descriptions, I would have known that I could have cured the poison, and that it wasn't just a terminal illness that I couldn't get rid of. With no way to heal and just completely lost in the tunnel system of the depths, I died again. I made my way back, lit a bonfire, and went deeper only to run into these cursed abominations. Yeah, this was like getting death blighted in Elden Ring, except now I lost half my health. I had never been to New Londo or near where the healer was, but luckily I'd seen the Purging Stone for sale from the vendor underneath the bridge in the sewer. I bought the Purging Stone and got rid of the curse and prayed that it wouldn't happen again because it wasn't cheap. It was 6,000 souls every time that you had to do this. At this point, I had a basic understanding of the depths and kind of knew my way around, so I treaded carefully until eventually I made my way to the bottom and ran into, well, he kind of looked like the Loch Ness Monster. Never mind, I don't even know what to call this thing. I thought for sure this guy was going to give me problems and that I would be spending a lot of deaths running back, just trying to learn the mechanics of the fight, but eventually I learned that he could only hit me from the front, so I just stuck to his side and hit him. I grabbed the key to Blighttown and bought some pants and made my way down. Yeah, this place didn't feel like it was the right way to go at this point. I wasn't really doing much damage to these guys. They were just getting pretty close to killing me, although I didn't realize that I was one-handing instead of two-handing a two-handed sword. I pretty much just ran out of healing, and it was really dark, so I just decided to get out of there. I found myself back in the Undead Parish, freed some guy that I literally never saw again, and then, yeah, these guys. Not much to say about that fight. I was just ridiculously overpowered. And I know at this point you're probably thinking, man, this guy's just gonna really just roll over everything in this game.
Wrong.
Just wait. Just wait. Yeah, this random dude at the bottom of a tower just hit really freaking hard. But as it turns out, it was for a good reason. That reason being Havel's ring. I put this ring on and I never took it off for the entirety of the rest of my playthrough. If you don't know what Havel's ring does, it reduces your equipment load by 50%, meaning I could wear way more armor and not have to worry about fat rolling around. After that, I found myself in the Darkroot Basin. Ran into a knight that killed me. Died on my way back there, losing just over 30,000 runes in the process, and then came back and killed him. Lit a bonfire, tried fighting some dragons, died to a dragon. Fought and killed a giant six-headed water-breathing dragon, found better armor, opened an expensive door, and then ran into the trio that was going to make me rich. That's right. For some reason in the woods, there was a thief, a mage, and a cleric all sitting pretty close to each other right next to a bonfire. I would be getting 6,000 souls in just a little over a minute. This was riskier than just running up and down the ladder back in the Undead Burg, but it was rewarding.
It's cheating the game right now. You just level it up so you can't die.
Wrong.
Yeah, I still died twice to basic NPCs thinking I was getting free souls. The game is not easy, and I'm the one who foolishly said I would do this in less than 100 deaths, so I'm doing what I have to do. I only spent a few hours here as opposed to days like I had spent with the ladder. Here's my stats after all was said and done. From here, I found some really heavy armor, but hey, it worked. I could put it on and I could roll. And then I beat the wolf. Sorry, and then I beat the wolf. I leveled up next, and once again, I was feeling pretty good. I found a fat guy and a closed door, so I figured it was time to make my way back down to Blighttown. I was way stronger now and two-handing my weapon finally, but out of everywhere that I'd been so far, this place definitely felt the most dangerous. I moved slowly and carefully, only taking fights that I knew that I could win. Eventually, I found myself at the bottom of the death swamp, fighting my way through, and then I was in Quelaag's domain. This fight was scary and I almost died, but hey, did it on my first try, so I was happy with it. I rang the second bell and pushed further into the demon ruins. I beat this guy by tickling his fingers and then drained the lake and kept going. I found a door that was locked and then... Are you kidding me? I died, what, 3 times for this? I was hitting pretty hard, but it definitely felt like the game was starting to hit back harder. God, I hated Sen's Fortress when I first played through it, but man, I had no idea. I had no idea what was coming. It would make this place look like a children's playground. I got to Anor Londo and the graphics got about 100 times better. And then I ran into the 2 super soldiers who were using what would be the US Army equivalent if they still used the bow and arrow. This was truly the first part of the game that actually pissed me off. These guys hit you with one arrow, you go flying 40 feet, you fall off, you die, and then you gotta run back like, I don't know, 3 miles to get back to them. Eventually, I got lucky and they both just kind of fell off the ledge. After this, I ran into Ornstein and Smuff. I was hitting super hard, so they weren't really a problem. From here, I put the Lord Vessel on the altar, was told that I only had to kill 4 more bosses to get to the end of the game, and it was going to be easy. Yeah, things were way, way, way harder. I would now like to direct you to the last and final bit of our show called Pain and Suffering. Yep. Go ahead. Make fun of me. Didn't do it. The hours I wasted climbing up and down a ladder and killing 3 guys every 30 seconds was for nothing. I ended up at level 92. Here's my stats. And then the final boss fight of the game, Gwen. What an amazing journey it's been, though. I freaking love this game. Thanks for watching.